right, guys, we're back. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, whatever it is for you. Excited today to have Laura Cheadle with us. We were just discussing how she has reframed something that I don't think we talk about a lot. So I'm really excited for today's conversation. But if you would like to, go ahead and tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do and all that jazz.
Yeah, that sounds great. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to this too. Being a betrayal recovery expert, working in the infidelity and betrayal space is not something I ever anticipated doing. It's not something I chose, and it's not something that was ever on my radar. I started off as a corporate attorney and I practiced law for 10 years. I walked away from law, went into the wellness space, was
Oh,
all
wow.
excited about, yeah, health and wellness and, workplace well-being and all that. And spirituality, like I just went into all of it. And I was thinking that my life was pretty darn amazing. I had the relationship and the job and the kids, and like it was great. And right on the precipice of things even becoming better, my youngest was heading away to college so I could travel with my husband. I was going to be free. I found out he had been cheating on me for
Mm.
15 years with five different women. And I I cannot even describe what that was like, the way it cut me down. You know, I've been doing this right all along. How stupid can I be? Um, I think I'm intuitive and empathetic, and I didn't know any of this. And what does this say about me? I thought I was trying to keep myself cute and in shape and being a good partner. And I mean, it destroyed me on so many different levels. Who was I in the past? But then also, what was my future going to be like? Because I had given so much, I had sacrificed so much to this relationship, to this marriage, with the anticipation of, yes, and we're going to grow old together.
Mm.
hmm So it was awful.
Sounds
I-
horrible.
oh, so awful. And the help, I needed help, but I wasn't exactly quite sure what that meant or what I even wanted or what I was supposed to do because there's such a narrative around infidelity. There's such a narrative that you have to leave and that this destroys things and that people cheat because of lust and you're not good enough. And a lot of the help that I got was pretty toxic and I made some, oh yeah, yeah. And I definitely made some mistakes. I had some therapists say things like, well, what did you do wrong here? And it's like,
Oh,
nothing. I will just tell you, not that I'm perfect, but I did not cause this. So, based on my own experiences, based on both the good and the bad things that I went through, based on my history with wellness, I started delving deeper into the idea and the concept of betrayal and what was it really? And what does it mean? And how do you heal from it? Because it's different than other kinds of grief. It disrupts your identity, where many other kinds of grief don't really change your identity to that extent.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's how I ended up doing what I'm doing. And weirdly, I love it because there's the potential for so much transformation. There's the potential to rewrite the narrative and your identity and life that so many people miss. And it is such a huge gift for me to be able to sit with people and to walk them through that doorway, through this transition, through their own dark night of the soul, and into what is finally the truest version of yourself and your life that oftentimes you didn't even know you were missing.
Wow. Um, I have a lot of questions.
Good.
Uh, to start out, I have to go back to the transition from attorney to corporate wellness. Like, what? How did that happen? I can
Yes.
imagine that corporate attorney wasn't all about work-life balance. And so I
Yeah.
could imagine that that would be an inspiration perhaps for a shift like that. But please do let's go back there first.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, the reason that I went to law school was because I was passionate about justice. And I
Mm,
really wanted to create justice in the world. And the longer I practiced law, the more I realized a couple of different things. First, practicing law really isn't about creating justice, it's about cleaning up messes.
mm,
And people wouldn't be in that situation, they wouldn't be in that mess if they would have done some preventative work.
yeah.
And there is a field called preventative law. But the problem is, so many people don't want to pay an attorney or an engineer or whatever it is before problems start.
Yeah.
They think, well, I'm good enough and this is going to be fine. And then if there's a problem, then I'll hire, you know what I mean, a structural engineer to clean it up. Then I'll hire an attorney to clean it up. When in reality, if you would have just hired and gotten the help in advance, you wouldn't be in this problem. And yes, it's going to cost some money and some time, but you're not going to have to tear down the whole house to redig the foundation.
Yeah.
So to me, that's what that corporate wellness was about. It was about how can we be healthier and how can we be happier and how can we not put ourselves in a situation where we're burning out, where we're drinking too much, where we're acting belligerent and toxic. How can we prevent all of that so we can go into a workplace and make ourselves and the workplace happier and healthier?
I agree completely with what you're saying. I joked that I was going to run for president, and if I did, my platform would be building up families and preventing some of the stuff that we experience that cause us a lot of problems and a lot cost us a lot of money. But the problem is, like you were saying, nobody wants to wait for that. Nobody wants
No.
to, like you were saying, pay in advance
Yes.
while we're trying to build this up or whatever. And so there's not really much of a market for prevention, unfortunately.
Right.
We
Which
really
is
are more
sad.
reactive. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we all think, well, I'm smart, I'm capable, I can figure this out. And there's a lot of things we can figure out, but there's also a lot of things we don't know until we know.
So when you started moving into wellness and prevention, what kind of stuff were you doing at that point? And I love, by the way, that spirituality was a part of that because I did not realize that spirituality was a part of wellness when I opened my wellness spa. And then
Ah.
all of my staff were like telling me all these spiritual things, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And I remember one guy saying, how are you the owner of a wellness spa and you don't know this stuff?
I don't know. It just happened.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it was kind of a backwards thing for me, but do tell your journey.
Yeah, absolutely. I I started off in physical fitness. Fitness has always been like a hobby. I grew up as a dancer. I process my emotions by dancing. Like in junior high, high school, if I'm having a bad day, I would, take it to the dance studio and dance it out. But I didn't really realize that's what I was doing. Through law school, I taught aerobics. That was the, high impact aerobic days. So I did that and I processed so much physically, but I wasn't really realizing at the time somatic processing really is a thing. It's not just that Laura feels better, we all feel better. So it started from that. Then I went back to school and became a clinical hypnotherapist
Ooh.
because, yeah, in the fitness space, I was realizing people were, yes, they were feeling better, but then they weren't maintaining it. So I was like, okay, we need to incorporate the mind, and the subconscious mind is powerful. So that's when I went into the subconscious mind. Then I have always just been personally curious about spirituality, and I feel very intuitive and channeling and all that stuff. At the time, Doreen Virtue was really big, and she had this angel therapy practitioner certification. And it was all about trusting your intuition and going to the different energetic levels to reach different spirit guides or deceased loved ones or angels. And I was like, I am so curious. I am so all in. I'm going to do this training. And it's just one thing leads to another then. It's like, oh, well, I get this. Okay, well, I'm going to go over here. Well, what about this? Well, ooh. And then you start reading and it's just this whole world unfolds.
Yes, I just did a conference in August. I call it a conference. That's not exactly what it was called, but it was a lot of education around consciousness and does consciousness just live in our brain? Where in our brain does consciousness live? How do people have access to information that we don't have a logical reason for? I'll put it like that.
Yes.
Go ahead. You look so excited.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, there's so much that we know, but there's so much that we don't know. And that's what just kept me going. Well, what else is there? Gosh, I've never thought about that. Where does consciousness live? Remote viewing, all these different things. It's exciting. And I personally loved not knowing the answer because it set me free to be like, well, I'm going to research more. I'm going to talk to people more. I'm going to experiment with this.
Wow, so you went through all of that prior to finding this out. And see, I'm glad that we went back there because that gives another layer of, I could understand, I'm not saying that you should be, but I can understand how you would feel disappointed in yourself. Like, wait a minute, I have access to all of this information. How did I miss this?
Yes.
Ugh.
Yes.
How did you reconcile that? And I'm not judging by any
No,
means. I
I
can just
know.
imagine how tough that would be.
It was. And when I talk about my healing and my reconciliation and all that, I want to be clear for anybody listening. It wasn't just like, oh, 2 days later, I figured it all out and it was great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was months of laying on the floor crying. There are months of grief and rage and processing. And I just want to make sure that I'm not bypassing the pain because like that, I don't want anybody to feel like, what's wrong with me? Because it's been a year and I'm still traumatized.
I very much appreciate that. Not too long ago, we had a gal who lost her kids to her narcissistic ex, and
Ooh.
I was asking her that question, like how do you get to a position of getting your power back or claiming your power back? Because these are such hard things to get through, and I think it is important that we acknowledge the pain and that we don't just skip over that part.
Right, right. Yeah, because I don't want anybody thinking, well, like Laura did it, so why am I so broken that I didn't? Well,
Yeah.
you will. It took a long time.
It's a journey. It's a journey,
It
guys.
is a journey. Darn it, I hate that journey sometimes. But yeah, how I reconciled it, the pieces kind of come in. And when you have the benefit of hindsight, yes, I can see things that maybe if I would have known, I would have seen. But at the time, it wouldn't have made sense for me to see it.
Ah, that
You
makes a
know what
lot
I
of sense
mean?
to me.
Yeah. Yeah. And then also, I did trust the spiritual unfolding. And I can also look back at these different things. And if I would have known something then or found out something then, it would have completely changed the trajectory of my life, my husband's life, my kid's life, and it would have been even worse. I
Wow.
found out truly at a great time, which sounds weird. Like like I said, my youngest was about to go away to college. There was space for me to grieve and mourn and rage and cry then, whereas having a 5 and a 7-year-old, that would have been an entirely different journey.
Very true. Very true. Okay.
Hmm.
So you were able to see that perspective eventually.
Eventually. Hmm.
What was your process in between?
Yeah. Um, First of all, when I found out, the way that I found out about one affair, because like I said, there were five. I
Yeah, I'm
found out about,
curious how it all came out.
oh yeah, and it came out over several months. I found out about the first, and I'm like, and bye-bye. We are done. Wash my hands, leave, we're done. Found out about the second one. I'm like, we are double done. We are double over. It's not going to work. Found out about the third and the fourth and the fifth. And instead of being triple, quadruple done, I was like, whoa, what is really going on? Something is really, really wrong here. We did have a really good relationship. We had a lot of fun together. We had a really good life. There was a lot of laughter. There was a lot of joy. Something is wrong. This isn't just I fell in love with somebody and went and had sex and now I want to be with them. This is wrong because why does a person in a happy life who's successful and all of this stuff and have a family who love them cheat with five people for 15 years? I got to figure this out because this isn't about me. If it would have been about me, we would have gotten a divorce. We would have had conversations. I don't like this. I need this. Not this is wrong. And that brought me in because I had to figure that out. Why would this happen? We have to talk. What's it with you? What's it? We got to figure this out. And I also had this deep knowingness that this isn't the end of the story. I don't know what the end of the story is, but I know it's not this. And we got to figure this out.
Hmm. So you got curious, is what I'm
I got
hearing.
very curious. Now, it's not like, again, I was peacefully curious. I still had rage. I still sobbed on the floor for days at a time. I mean, not joking. The first probably week and a half, I couldn't stop crying. I had never had that experience before.
Oh, wow.
Never. It was like I would wake up and I would cry and I couldn't sleep and I would just lay there and cry. But yes, as I'm processing, as I'm feeling the grief, and then as I'm feeling the rage, it's being interspersed with some text conversations, with my husband and what's going on and what does this mean and what about that? And it's the puzzle is starting to get clear. We're sorting, think about a jigsaw puzzle. We're sorting the blue sky over here and we're sorting the grass over here. And it's taken a lot of time, but it's this sorting process.
Now, was it getting clear for you and him or just you?
Great question. It was getting clear for both of us, and it was getting clear for us as a couple. There was three parts to this story.
Okay.
There was me and my journey. There was him and his journey, and then there was us and our journey. And those were all very separate journeys, and they progressed at different rates.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, so I can only imagine what kind of things he was able to discover through this. And why don't you give us a little insight into how all of that?
Yeah, big picture. I came from a air quotes normal childhood. My parents were functional. People have problems, whatever. We had money. They were functional. I was not abused. I was not neglected. I was just normal. I have emotional awareness. I'm female. You know what I mean? Like I'm raised in a culture where little girls are trained to be more in touch with their emotions. Okay, his childhood extremely dysfunctional. Poverty, neglect, foster care,
Oh,
horrific abuse. I mean, horrific. I don't know if anybody knows about the ACE, Adverse Childhood Experiences score. It's 10. So like the higher your number, the more incidences of trauma and abuse. On a scale of 1 to 10, he is a 9.
oh, wow. I think it's
Yeah.
4 and over increases your chances of all kinds of problems significantly.
Significantly. Yeah. And he's a 9. So also, again, being male, at the time he grew up in the 70s, you tough it up. Big boys don't cry, you know, stop crying or I'll give you something to cry about. So we have very different experiences. His way of dealing with that trauma, again, because in the 70s, we weren't very trauma aware when he was growing up anyway, was I'm never going to talk about it. It didn't impact me. It's all fine. So he lived this fine life. He's successful. He's happy. It's good. He is not able to identify what's going on with him. He said he would feel intense things, but he didn't know what they were. He says his way of experiencing life was I'm happy, I'm pissed off, or I'm sad. That's it.
Just three emotions. That's it, guys.
That's it. That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
So he
Pretty
had no,
classic for a dude, though, I
oh,
gotta say.
very classic. Yeah. So when he would feel uncomfortable, threatened, when times were bad and we'd be having, stressful situations, in his mind, instead of talking about that, he would go into this fear protective trauma response, fight, flight, or freeze, sorry. And he would go cheat because it'd be like, I got to create a safe environment for myself because I'm about to lose my family.
Oh, wow. It was like his way of comforting himself.
Yes. And then on the flip side, because I mentioned that we had a lot of great times, when times were good, he couldn't accept that. His hyper aware brain would say, "Oh God, Laura's faking this. She is totally playing me. She's got somebody on the side herself, and she's going to play me and she's going to leave. I got to get out of here and I got to protect myself."
That is so sad.
Right? And it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like once he started understanding that, it was like, oh. And then he could identify that same pattern at work with friendships, all this self sabotage based on hypervigilance that everything is perceived as a threat. Because when you have an A
Mm.
score of 9 out of 10, everything is a threat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing
And
feels safe.
no. And I don't know, at that time, I was not trauma informed.
Yeah. Well, even if you were, I remember one of my very first relationships, the the guy's mom had left his dad when he was maybe in middle
Hmm.
school or something. And I think it created a pretty deep wound in him. And he just had this like chronic emptiness. And one person could never fill his chronic emptiness.
Never.
And the only thing, like you're saying, that made him feel safe was having a partner, but also going out and
Yes.
and doing, making sure he has backup essentially,
Yes.
in case someone wants to abandon him again.
Yes. Yes. Because my husband would always be like, his MO is, I am never going to be hurt again. I cannot take being hurt again. I will never be hurt again. I will do anything to ensure my safety. And I need that constant validation because I can't do it for myself.
Yeah. Ooh, it is really hard to validate yourself, period, but I can't even imagine
Yeah.
a guy starting on that journey.
No, exactly. Exactly. So that's why I was like, I have my journey of healing. I have my journey of my lessons, like what this brought up in me, the infidelity was such a mirror. How am I betraying myself? How am I giving away my power? How am I putting myself last? How am I silencing my voice? So that's my work. The identification, the reflection, the growth, the change. His work is, how do I start uncovering this trauma? How do I start finally looking at myself? How do I learn how to validate myself? How do I learn to express my emotions? How do I learn other coping mechanisms that are healthy? And then how do we bring that together and create a new relationship?
Now, question here. For
Yeah.
me, it would matter that these relationships were long term. How did you guys get through that piece of things?
That's what matters to me too. Only one was long term. The others were okay. One was just a texting, sexting situation. They never saw
Okay.
each other in real life. Another was a one night stand at a conference. Another was an almost one night stand at a conference where she left. Another was a relatively short, like 3 to 4 month situation where she wanted a sugar daddy and he was just
Ah,
validating the heck out of him. The fifth one was a long term friend. I put friend in air quotes. In those 15 years, they only saw each other 7 times.
oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So they texted as friends and they had a friendship, but when they would get together, she was in his hometown. He didn't see her every time, but the times that they did get together, they would have an intimate physical contact.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So how did you guys reconcile? I mean, I'm assuming that you reconciled. I actually don't even know.
Actually, we did. We are still together.
Okay.
We just celebrated our 30th wedding anniversary. So it's been a while since this has happened.
Congratulations, by the way. That's
Thank
amazing.
you. Thank you. It
Uh,
is amazing.
it
I
is.
mean, really.
From the work that I've done with people, I've noticed that when you can work through something like this, a lot of times people feel a lot closer afterwards.
Yes.
Was that your experience as well?
Yes. Yes. Because you're more raw and you're more real and you're more vulnerable.
Yeah.
And I didn't know this about him. I knew he had a bad childhood. I didn't know the pain that he felt inside. I didn't know the anguish that he felt inside. You know what I mean? So now I know him better. He didn't know. I mean, it sounds crazy to say, but he was like, I didn't think you'd be upset if you found out because I didn't think you really liked me that much. Wait,
Oh,
what? So he was shocked that I was falling apart. So he got to walk me through that journey and see all of this stuff in me. So we see each other more. We know each other more. We never didn't love each other.
yeah.
It's just that now we know each other more.
Yeah. And that is one of the things that bonds people together is vulnerability, which is why my girl Brene Brown's talking about
Yeah.
that, how important that is. Uh, but it's interesting too, because another thing that you're saying without saying is it wasn't personal
No,
what was happening. And I
no.
think the automatic human response to infidelity is to feel like it's personal, that I'm not good enough, I didn't do this enough, I didn't do that enough, I don't have enough of this or that. And
Yes.
it feels like rejection. And many experts have said that rejection feels like death. So that word you used, loss, it was perfect word.
Yeah.
Um, and we can even know logically that it's not personal, but it still feels
Oh,
very personal.
very much.
So can you
Very
talk
much.
about how you got through that part of things?
It's it's really hard, and I'm going to add this other layer into it that made it extra hard. The women that he cheated with, objectively, are the kind of women you would look at and go, "Ew."
That doesn't help.
It doesn't help at all because I'd be like, really? You were telling me, like, his long-term affair partner was extremely overweight and lived in a trailer that was very filthy and dirty. And
Oh.
she was really like screechy and loud. And I'd be like, if that, like, if I can see that and I can pass all kinds of judgments that are not nice judgments, I will own that. But if I can look at you and pass all kinds of judgments over who you are, I must be worse than that because you picked her over me.
Mm,
You know what I
mm.
mean? So,
Yeah,
yeah. So then I'd look at these other women, like the gold digger one. I was like, oh my God, like, ew,
yeah,
oh, and that's better than me.
yeah.
So that made it even harder because I don't know, nothing is easier. I mean, had they been
No.
beautiful and smart and totally pulled together and amazing, at least maybe there would have been a piece in me that says, well, geez, clearly that is better than me. Clearly.
This very conversation is one of the things that showed me uh that attraction isn't just about physical appearance.
Exactly.
And I try to explain this to people because we're so indoctrinated that attraction is
Yeah.
about physical appearance that it's very hard for people to wrap their heads around the fact that it's not. There's so many layers
No.
to attraction. It really doesn't have anything, it doesn't have to have anything to do with a physical appearance.
Yes.
And
And I couldn't get that out of my head because it had been so indoctrinated into me. So
yeah,
that was a whole other layer of healing.
yeah. Oh God.
Yeah,
But it is so freeing to realize that and
it's
to
not
know
about
that, I
that.
mean, because you had to learn very firsthand and very personally that this stuff isn't as personal as it feels, and it's not about the things that you think it's about, which
Nope.
I can imagine would be very freeing,
Hmm.
kind of across the board. Because if this is
Exactly.
your romantic partner, what you're learning about this person, this can translate.
Yes. And that's why I say that infidelity is such a gift. Like, is that a fun lesson to learn? No, and it's not fun to learn it that personally. But wow. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And here's the other level of that too. In my work, what I've learned is oftentimes, again, there's never a hard, fast rule, but oftentimes we seek out a person to cheat with that is reflective of our inner state.
Oh, okay. Tell us more.
Yeah. So his inner state was, I am worthless.
Mm.
I am trashy. I don't deserve anything good. So he seeks out these women because they're the kinds of women that will never hurt me because they will never leave because they are so lucky to have me. So I am really,
Uh,
really safe.
Back to that safety word.
Yes.
Oh man.
Yes.
It's so important for us to feel safe, and yet so often we don't. And even in a good relationship, because it sounds like overall the relationship you had was a good
It
relationship.
was fine. I mean, we had our problems. We had every relationship has problems, but
Yeah.
they were normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yes, for me then to come to terms with this doesn't have anything to do with me. This has to do with him and his safety. This has to do with my judgment over what makes a quality woman, what makes a trashy woman, what makes a good romantic partner, what makes a bad romantic partner. Like, none of this is about me. I am me and I'm fine. Whether I am 90 pounds or 3,000 pounds, I'm still me and I'm still inherently worthy. Whether
Mhm.
I'm the best stereotypical wife and mom and support and love, or whether I'm a selfish mom, or whether I'm a imperfect, it's still me and it's still I am inherently worthy no matter what. Whether somebody loves and cherishes me or whether somebody cheats on me, I am still inherently worthy and who I am is enough.
People can't always see your value or express their appreciation for your value. That doesn't mean you're not valuable.
Yeah.
Very good point. And if you could just for a minute, can you
Hmm.
talk about who you are, regardless of your size, regardless of what you're doing? Because I'll speak for myself. When I first started thinking about core self,
Hmm.
there's all these ways that people can describe themselves. I'm a therapist, I'm a mom, I'm a what partner, uh,
Right.
you know, but none of those things define me. So how did
Nope.
you figure out who you were?
Yeah. And I love that because one of my trademarks, and I'll tell the little story around this, is naked self-worth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it is that concept of we construct our worth based on, you're right, our size, our amount of money in our bank account, kind of car, home. Like that's what truly defines us. And when you are metaphorically naked, when you don't have any of that, how do you retain that worth? What are those things that you lean on? What are those things? What are those inherent qualities? So for me, I really know that I am a bright, positive light. I know that I am joy in motion. I know that.
Oh, I love that.
Thank you. And no matter what happens, I can light up a room with joy. I can light up a conversation with joy. And if somebody is not in a space to receive it, there is no judgment around that. But I know that's my gift. And I can bring it to animals or kids or friends or families or strangers. And if they don't want it, it says nothing about me. It's just that they're not in a space to receive it because my light can be bright. And I know how it is sometimes when we're trying to shield our light from that. But I will.
I'm just thinking about how in the past I've been known
Yes,
to be like, oh, that person is just way too positive.
totally.
I can't handle all this optimism right
Totally.
now.
Not now. Yeah.
But you're
Yeah.
right. That has nothing to do with the positive person. That has to do with me and my internal state.
Totally. And if someone wants to receive me, I'll engage in that dance. It's fun. And if somebody doesn't want to dance with me, that's fine. I'm going to find somebody who will.
Oh, I love that. And that's the thing too. And this is something I learned from narcissists actually.
I know
You
gifts
can
there
learn some good
too.
things. There's a narcissist is never afraid to burn bridges because they know that around the corner is another group of people they can manipulate and control and do whatever they want to do with.
Hmm.
And the same is true for the rest of us. You know, like you were saying, if somebody can't receive my energy or don't want to, not in the place to, whatever it is, that's
Yeah.
okay. Someone else will.
Yeah.
And we don't need everybody to accept and approve of our energy. We just need
No.
some people.
Yeah. Yeah. And when I'm not in the mood to be positive and joy bringing, it doesn't make me bad or wrong
Yeah.
because I am so multifaceted, and that's okay.
Now, one thing I want to point out, speaking of narcissists,
Oh, yes.
uh, it sounds to me like your husband was willing to do a lot of this work. And I think that's an important distinction because a lot of people try to force this kind of change, and there really isn't any forcing it.
No, I'm so glad you said that. No. And speaking of narcissist, for a while I was like, I think he might be a narcissist. His mother is a narcissist. When you have been
Mhm.
raised by parents who are narcissists, you can have narcissistic tendencies, but not be a narcissist.
Very
And
true.
that was something too that we really had to break down. He does have narcissistic tendencies. He is now aware that, hey, this is a narcissistic tendency, but this is not who I am. And you're very right. Early on, it was like he was not going to come to the party. It's because you ignored me. It's because you did this. It's because you did. There was a lot of blame. There was a lot of defensiveness. There was a lot of then in the drop of a hat, I don't know what came over him. He had this moment where he was like, I'm the monster. This has nothing to do with you. I am so damaged and I am so broken and I will be eternally sorry. And whether we stay together or not, I gotta fix me.
Wow. And then he stuck to that.
He's stuck to that because he's a healthier, happier person. You know what I mean? It's not like I don't want to say he's not doing it for the marriage, but I didn't want him to do it for the marriage. I wanted it to do him for himself. It's not about making Laura happy. It's about becoming a healthy, whole, healed person. I worked on myself. I did my thing because I matter most to me. Does it benefit the marriage? Yes. Does it benefit the kids? Yes. But we have to do what we need and want to do for ourselves.
Yes, very true. Well, I was saying the piece about sticking to it because I think a lot of times a full-on narcissist will say they have these moments of clarity where they say, I'm the monster, I'm the problem, I'll fix it, and then there's no follow-through
Nope.
whatsoever.
Nope. Nope.
Even if they go to therapy, it's like one or two therapy appointments, and then that's it.
They're
So,
fixed.
yes. So
Yeah.
the fact that he said that and then did something about it, I think is huge.
Yes. Yes. And like, this has been what, 7 years? He still goes to therapy every week, every other week. I'm not setting his appointments. We're not having conversations about what he and the therapist talk. That's him. He's taking care of himself. He's done. energy work. He's seen a shaman. He reads all kinds of self-help, but like he's doing it all.
He got curious too.
Big time curious.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful. And the healing, everybody's healing journey in this story is beautiful to me. You know, especially, you added in that piece just now of him blaming you. That then makes it even harder to depersonalize and to
Hmm?
really understand your worth and value because it's easy to accept when somebody tells you that kind of thing. Like, oh, maybe I was ignoring, maybe I was not
Hmm.
giving him enough attention or whatever bullshit excuse it is that they give us because there's all kinds. You
Oh,
let yourself
so many.
go, whatever.
Right. You were too focused on the kids. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's beautiful that you were able to work through that and push through that and still come to a place where you realized this isn't about me. And then
Hmm.
for him to stick with it and realize where all of this was coming from. And then how did you guys establish safety in your relationship again? Because I imagine he's chronically feeling unsafe, and now you're definitely feeling unsafe.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a continuum. It's not like level achieved, bing, and nobody ever feels unsafe again.
Like a Mario game.
Exactly, exactly. Safety is created by in ourselves. I have to create my own safety. I need to establish boundaries. I need to be aware of how I'm feeling. If he's going off the rails, which I want to be honest, there's times he still goes off the rails. He's still a traumatized human being. We still have stress. We still have life. It's not like everything has been so perfect. What I need to respond to him differently now. When he is in this psycho space, I need to set my own boundaries. I need to take care of me and I need to create my own safety. On the flip side, I'm sure maybe once or twice I might have gone off the rails too. And I know, shocker alert. But when I'm not on my best behavior, same thing. He does not need to engage with me in those moments. He needs to create and find his own safety, and he needs to let me free to regulate myself and to go through my own process and to deal with my own triggers so then we can come back together and continue to establish that safety.
Ah, I love this so much because I feel like, a lot of people would answer that like we have arrived. We've arrived, we're safe now, we're good. We're good.
Nope.
And that doesn't feel realistic to me. I think there's probably some couples out there that don't really argue and don't really have too much conflict in their relationship, but I personally think it's very normal to still have difficult times. And from everything I know and what one of my favorite researchers says, it's all about repair. It's all about
Yeah.
that process that we go through after we go off the rails or after we react to something.
Yeah.
What do we do next?
Yes. Yes. That's exactly it. Because I don't know about you, but our lives are stressful. Money, kids, families, like the world. There's a lot of stressful things that happen. And we're both high intensity, high energy people. So living a very quick life. So yes, misunderstandings happen, things happen. And yeah, I need repair fairly quickly.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole other thing too. In my relationship, I'll talk about me for a second. Um, I need repair quickly as well, but
Mhm.
he needs time.
Yes. Yes.
We we have butted heads on that. And I think that it ends up being a compromise. Like, okay, can we address this within 12 hours? Can this not be a 3-day thing?
Right. Right.
Can we
Right.
find a middle ground?
Exactly. And sometimes also, it's not like you're giving an excuse for the other person. I don't want it to sound like that. It's not that I'm like, I will sacrifice all my needs and I'll do it your way. There are moments when one partner has greater needs than the other.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
like like his father passed away not too long ago. Just there's some stressful times in the moments where we're dealing with the death of his parent. I'm not going to come in and belligerently assert all of my needs. I am being ignored right now. You know what I mean? It's like you take priority in the relationship right now. I'm going to give you a pass on certain things. We don't need repair. I can suck it up for a while. But it's that give and take. Then there's times where I'm going through something more and I don't really care right now. You just need to come make repair right now because I am the one who's the most needy right now. If that makes sense, it's that
Well,
flux
and
and
that
that flow.
it's probably useful your intuition in those moments. I do feel like
Hmm.
that's hard for some people to navigate. How did you
It
nurture
is.
your intuition?
I I work with it. I've done some journaling, I do love journaling, but I really try to have those moments by myself in silence. My shower is like my magic portal where I move to that level. I go up that frequency scale and I play around, for lack of a better word, in that area. I try to sense, I practice it, I lean in and I quiet either when I said moving up the frequency scale, like I can move up and out of my head, but then sometimes also I drop down and in my body. It's putting my attention and putting my focus in different areas, and I practice it. So now I know where to go to sense what kind of information that I want or need.
Oh, that's so cool.
It
That's
is
so
cool.
cool. Uh, I was talking to a guy recently who was telling me he experienced something traumatic and he just found meditation and started meditating. And then he started having these profound experiences. But, and I would love your perspective on this, it took a while of practicing and being disciplined in it. Would you say that was your experience as well? Because I think a lot of people are like, meditation doesn't work for me, or sitting with myself doesn't work for me, or dropping into my body doesn't work for me. I mean, these are things that I hear from people a lot. So
Hmm.
what would you say?
Yeah. I think meditation, channeling, whatever you want to call it, intuition, it's a relationship. And when you give more attention to that relationship, the relationship gets better. So, no, if you
Good way to
practice
think about it.
thank you. So, yeah, if meditation doesn't just work, very few people, I've never met one of them actually, can just drop into meditation and have these profound experiences in the first week of meditating. And I think we set our expectations too high. Just play around with it, flirt with it, tease it. It's a relationship. You don't go on a date with somebody and start talking about your wedding and what you want to do when you grow old together. You flirt, you tease, you see if this works. You don't like it. You try something else. Ooh, you do like it. You try. So try it. Maybe it's meditation, maybe it's journaling. Try it, flirt, tease, and enjoy. And that you're developing a relationship with your intuition.
Ah, I love that idea. And it's a part of you. So technically, you're developing a relationship with yourself.
Ooh, so right on. Yes, you are.
Um, okay, so what did you call yourself again? A betrayal, infidelity. What did you
Hmm.
say?
Betrayal, infidelity, and betrayal recovery expert.
Recovery expert. Okay, so
Hmm.
what do you do with that now? I mean, we've teased apart the journey,
Yes.
and I'm assuming you help other people who are experiencing that, but how does that look and work?
Yeah. I work with people one on one or as a couple. And
Oh,
what I basically do is I'm shepherding you through that threshold because we all have that moment in life where the bottom drops out and we're like, I don't know who I am and I don't know what to do. And yes, for a lot of people, it is infidelity, but it's also betrayal, different kinds of betrayal. The loss of somebody can feel like a betrayal. financial betrayal. Divorce can feel like a betrayal. Like so many different things are a betrayal. So that's what I do in my one-on-one sessions with people. We talk about that journey and that identity loss and how do we get back to our own sense of self, to our own sense of worth. You have just lost everything. Yes, we have to grieve that loss, but where is the joy too? What are the things that you were releasing that were never yours to begin with? How were you labeled? How were you labeled incorrectly? What are the roles that you're playing that no longer fit or serve you? What are the scripts in your mind about how your life should look? And
Mhm.
what are the scripts you're going to create now? Because it is such a golden opportunity when everything's fallen away to rebuild the way that you want to rebuild.
Man, this is a message that keeps coming up that I think Eckhart Tolle brought it up first. Is from what my journey was, but
Yeah,
he was saying that suffering is an opportunity to connect and to grow spiritually and have like great experiences. And while I believe that as a therapist, and I've seen that happen for people, it's very hard to wrap your head around that. And
yeah,
but it's so true.
yeah. And here's the thing about that too, because yes, on the one hand, that makes me want to vomit. You know what I mean? Like, ugh, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Mostly the suffering is because we attach to what was,
Mm.
and we are not opening ourselves to the possibility of what is or what is to come. Because think about when the bottom drops out, you want to go back to how things were. It's that defining before and after moment. And after you just want to get back to how you were before, and it's this desperation. It's the lifeboat, even if that lifeboat is the toxic lifeboat with animals and vicious axe murderers on it. You want to get back onto the boat because it'll get you out of the water, and the water hurts right now because there's sharks swimming around you. Instead of how can you grieve that loss but also release it because you can't get back to the past. How do you accept unconditionally where you're at and then consciously choose where to go next? It's the devil you know versus the devil you don't know. And it's hard to do.
Yeah, that unknown, that unfamiliar, it always feels dangerous.
Yeah.
And we as humans tend to, I don't know why I said as humans, tend to imagine the worst case scenarios. But one of the things I hear you saying is, let's imagine what else is possible. Okay, we've imagined the worst case scenario, but what
Yeah.
else could be is there a positive possibility? And what are those possibilities like? And that's something that
Yeah.
we don't spend our time thinking about naturally. Um,
Right.
but it's so useful.
It is so useful. And like, I would challenge everybody listening. What are the things in your life where you're like, I'm so irritated with that? Oh, like, this is so icky. But we keep tolerating it and tolerating it and tolerating it because we don't want to rock the boat and do something about it because it's not that big of a deal. What are all those things? And if you truly have the opportunity for all of those to be gone, humans again would grieve that loss.
That's true. That's true. And we might not even recognize that we're grieving because, as you mentioned, grief has different stages. So
Yeah.
sometimes we're like, I don't know why I'm so angry these days. My younger sister was like that a lot. Like anytime a relationship of hers ended, I'd be like, "Oh God, how are you doing? How do you feel?" And she'd say, "Oh, I feel fine." And then 2 weeks later, she's like, "I don't know why I'm so depressed right now."
Yeah. Isn't it funny? Mm-hmm.
We have like delayed reactions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway. Okay, so how do people find you? And
Yeah, a couple different ways. My website is lauracheadle.com and I spell Laura Lora, which is a slightly different spelling, but lauracheadle.com. I also have a free download that is enormously helpful because it's got hypnotherapy, it's got somatic processing, and it's even got a channeled message from spirit on how to transcend betrayal, how to really understand it on the emotional, physical, and spiritual level. And to get that free guide, you just go to betrayal-recovery-guide.com.
Ooh, I need to check this out. That sounds so cool.
It's a fun one, especially the channeled message. I really like that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being so vulnerable and authentic with us today and sharing your experience and your wisdom that you gained through your experience. Thank you for the work that you do. This has been really cool.
It's been really cool. Thank you for the work that you do and for getting it and for asking the questions that really could bring out the profound nature of things. So thank you.
All right, guys, tune in next time. We'll see you later. Bye.